Make no mistake, getting turned down or having plans canceled is tough for anyone, but for many women, it can feel like a punch to the gut. Why? Because from a young age, girls are often taught to seek approval from others. They grow up being called a princess and being called pretty everywhere they go. Now, zoom in on the modern women in their late 20s. This time in life can be a bit of a reality check. The dating scene isn't as packed as it used to be with good men, and the options seem to be dwindling. That's where the worry kicks in. If the word on the street is that there are plenty of good guys out there who are perfectly happy flying solo, not desperately seeking a partner, it shakes things up. For women who've been riding the societal conveyor belt towards finding the one, seeing guys who are totally okay with being single can feel unsettling. It's like the rules of the game have changed. This isn't just about dating. It's about how women see themselves and how they think they're seen by others. If being in a relationship is seen as a badge of success, then what does it say if they're not in one? Or worse, if men seem indifferent to the whole partnership thing? It challenges the whole setup. The idea that women's worth is tied up in how desirable they are to men. When men are content on their own, it forces a rethink of what it means to be successful, valued, and happy beyond just relationship status. In the trenches of the social media age, after a breakup, a common theme is starting to show itself. A lot of ladies seem to dread flying solo. There's this pattern for them, where personal growth takes a back seat, all in the pursuit of catching a guy's eye. The story being spun blames society for teaching some girls to think they're entitled to the moon, to use guys for their gain, expecting loyalty and love without question. It's painted like guys are just pawns in the game, easily replaced, while ladies are coached to swing from one fella to the next, chasing better prospects, wealth, and influence. Common sense tells a man that if he can't beat the boss on level 10, then maybe he should go back to level 8 or 9 and build himself up. Women don't think like this. They are taught by this new age society to look for a guy even better than the guy they could not obtain. Smart. This increased hypergamous landscape has led to men choosing to walk the lone path, dodging the minefield of high-maintenance relationships. This narrative suggests that single guys are wary of stepping up, scared off by the fear of not measuring up. But it's not entirely true. Many of these same men are going overseas and finding love and appreciation. Many are also learning to love and appreciate themselves in the gym or on their purpose. It's bold in claiming that there's a collective side-eye from women towards these lone wolves. The happier single guys there are, the more it supposedly unnerves women, worried that men finding peace in solitude could mean a dip in the dating pool. See, a lot of simps are chasing women because they haven't even gotten the opportunity to see how not so worth it many modern relationships are. They chase and they chase, only to find out that the thing they wanted the most is nothing like described in the movies, the anime, and the books. The average woman has changed, and the word is spreading. Good women are a lot rarer now, and many average women are going to have to change. Tread lightly around these broad strokes. It's a wide world out there, with a rainbow of experiences and views on relationships. Nowadays, some successful dudes are catching on to a vibe where it feels like women might be cranking up the emotional volume. Comics and high flyers note this, pondering the relationship cost-benefit analysis, and often finding it wanting. Modern hurdles like tricky harassment laws and the tangled web of divorce are cooling the jets on traditional romance. Men are beginning to make pros and cons lists, and they are realizing that the cons of dating modern women are beginning to stack. A band of brothers, bruised by past flames, are opting to fly solo. I'm not talking about the men that could not get girls, or the ones who never had the opportunities. I'm talking about absolute studs, witty men, intelligent men, real G's. They're pouring their heart and soul into self-improvement, fitness, starting businesses, and hitting the road. They are done with all the BS that accompanies modern dating. It's a move to uncouple happiness from women, redefining self-worth and fulfillment on their own terms. Men in the know are dodging the dating script, pushing back against what's expected, and focusing on a broader mission in life. Yes, they can still enjoy their free time with women, but they are not doing any of the things you are seeing on social media. This shift puts the old school dance between men and women in the spotlight. Men are focusing on self-growth and purpose, rather than playing into traditional dating norms. This is taking a lot of women by storm because it's the men they want the most that are choosing to focus on themselves. This pivot challenges the usual roles women expect men to fill, stirring the pot in social circles. As men become more wrapped up in their own goals, they're less tuned into women's advances, shaking up the old power dynamics. The narrative doesn't shy away from suggesting that women's window of appeal might have a shelf life, contrasting with unmarried men who seem to only gain value, having nothing to lose. It's a tough pill to swallow for women who find themselves sidelined if men show zero interest. There's talk of ancient wisdom where women skilled in swaying men pass down their genes, introducing the idea of men going their own way as a curveball, ruffling some feathers. Men are split into camps, those who play into women's hands, and those carving out their own paths, taking women at their word that they don't need a man. This divide highlights a shift in how men approach traditional relationship norms, aligning actions with personal quests rather than bending to outdated expectations. Make no mistake, there is a grim picture of the fallout from divorce, suggesting the stakes are higher now than ever, with men standing to lose everything from home and family to dignity. It argues that men are waking up to the games women play, seeing through the Hollywood romance facade to the potential for manipulation beneath. Hollywood romance is dying, as social media has revealed way too much. Men are seeing with their own eyes how many women will choose a big wallet over a big heart in long-term relationships. There are many good women out there, but this society has made them afraid to show themselves, so they blend in with all of the bad apples. As men chart their own course, seeking fulfillment beyond the knight in shining armor role, the question arises: what happens when women, increasingly asserting their independence, find that men are stepping back, questioning whether their support and protection are even wanted anymore? What are all these strong, independent women going to do when men actually start to listen to them? The decision for men to stick to urban jungles, amassing wealth and dodging disillusionment, marks a potential seismic shift in dating dynamics. The scene is set for a power shift, with men less engaged in the dating game, possibly flipping the script on traditional leverage. Men are losing interest in dating. Self-improvement has become the new romance for men after years and years of being underappreciated as a collective. Digging deeper, the women gauge their self-worth and attractiveness, often leaning heavily on physical beauty. This fixation fuels industries and has roots stretching back through history. The size of a woman's dating pool is seen as a direct measure of her value in society's eyes. And their dating pool is shrinking and becoming littered with low-value simps. Rejection hits women hard, potentially harder than men, used to facing it head-on. When rejection comes knocking or plans fall through, it can trigger a crisis, challenging women's need for external validation. As the narrative unfolds, it casts a spotlight on women, especially those hitting the late 20s, facing a shrinking pool of prospects. The notion of content single men poses a direct threat to their social standing and perceived value. Make no mistake, to aspire to greater achievements and reach unprecedented heights in life, kindly consider endorsing this video by giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with a trusted companion, and subscribing to our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated.